ago, the Senate said again that, hey, the new boss has refused to come answer questions about this 25 trillion. Anyway, this has raised questions about accountability and the power that is entrenched in the cabal in the oil industry. The big question that we're asking this evening is the NNPCL truly limited in liability, or is it unlimited in secrecy, in inefficiency, and maybe in corruption? My guest joins us live via Zoom. He is a great political analyst. I love to have him every time now and again, but also his forte is the oil and gas sector. Nick Agule joins us live right now. Nick, it's so good to have you join us. I wish I was on that holiday with you, but I have to work.
Hi, Mary. Well, it's good morning, my time. It's 10:06 a.m. my time.
Okay.
And it's past 5 p.m. your time. But it's not really like a holiday. I'm actually here touring the farms, the agriculture here in Saskatchewan.
Okay.
And I've been making some posts on my Facebook page in terms of how we can change the game in our agricultural sector. So I'm going to bring back a lot of stuff. Thank you.
Lovely. So let's start by looking at this situation. In my opening, I tried to capture the situation right now with the NNPCL. Nigeria has spent tens of billions of dollars on turnaround maintenance over the years, and I've reported it over and over again. Why have all our refineries remained inoperative despite all of these monies that have been pumped into it? And I think sometime last year, if not early this year, you and I had a conversation about the NNPCL and, whether they were really open, whether it was going to produce or not. And here we are now. Dangote was the one who pulled, the cat out of the bag and said, look, it's not going to work. All the monies that they put in it is not going to work. Why is that the case?
Well, so the answer to that is we need to look at the larger Nigerian landscape. If you look at Nigeria, everything that the government is running isn't working well. So it's not exclusive to the refineries. We need to go further afield. Is it Nigeria Airways that is working? I mean, look at, as we speak today, Nigerians are in Nairobi, they are in Addis Ababa, they are in Morocco, they are in Qatar, they are in UAE, in Dubai. They are scattered all over the world. What are they doing there? They didn't intend to visit those places. It is because a foreign airline took them to those places before they will fly them to their destination, which is maybe Europe or North America or somewhere. Is it Nigeria National Shipping Line? Is it power supply? Is it the railways? Is it the steel plants? I mean, name whatever it is that government is in control. Is it NITA? So you discover that it's not even specific to the NNPCL, because if we don't look at it, given the larger picture, we may not even get the solution right. So the bottom line is that government is not a good businessman. But the Nigerian situation is further compounded by the fact that our own governance institutions are weak. So that combo is what is resulting in what we are seeing in the NNPCL today and the refineries, as it is with all the other sectors that I have mentioned.
But in the case of the NNPCL, it's worse because that's supposed to be the lifeblood of our economy. This is where we all dip our hands into at the end of every month. This is where we share monies from. And so if everything else is not, in proper shape, the NNPCL should be. With all of the window dressing, the christening and the rechristening of the NNPC to NNPCL, one would have thought that extra care and involvement will be put into that particular part of our Commonwealth. How come there's not that I want to use the word intentionality in dealing with the NNPCL?
So you have touched on a very important issue. that in Nigeria, when we have issues, instead of hitting on the core of the issues, dealing with the causative factors, trying to uproot the issue from the beginning, we go about doing cosmetics. So you mentioned christening. Well, we have christening like that in the past. Remember, we had the Electricity Corporation of Nigeria rechristened to National Electric Power Authority, rechristened to Power Holding Company of Nigeria, and while the christening was happening, we didn't see power, right? So even NITEL, it was called, there was a name, I think it was called NET, Nigerian Telecoms something, and then they were now put into Nigerian Telecommunication Limited. So 92 had an L added to it, just like we have added an L to NNPCL. Nothing happened because, look, we're not digging into the root cause of this. And for me, the root cause of this is that, number one, the NNPCL is a behemoth that needs to be disaggregated. Government, because if you don't deal with the NNPCL, you can't deal with the refineries, right? So the NNPCL, government needs to do something about that NNPCL. There are several options for government to deal with the NNPCL. The number one option is, even if the government does not want to lose control of the NNPCL, if they don't want to lose ownership of the NNPCL, because the NNPCL belongs to all of us Nigerians who are shareholders, the government can introduce incorporated JV into the NNPCL the way it is in the NLNG. So the NLNG is a government-owned company, but it's got private sector participation. And so at the end of the day, you will see that it is doing much better than the NNPCL. So why is government not looking towards that? So if government, on the other hand, just says, look, we're going to wash our hands clean of this NNPCL, then the privatization option is open to government as well. The government can privatize the NNPCL, allow Nigerians to become shareholders in NNPCL, and float the NNPCL on the capital market. That way, we will unlock value from the assets that are in this NNPCL, because this NNPCL is sitting on so much assets. They are not only sitting on refinery assets as we speak today. They are sitting on pipeline assets. If you remember, Dangote said, oh, I'm going to import 4,000 trucks to distribute petroleum products around the country. It is because the pipelines are down. If the pipelines were functioning, who transports petroleum products as combustible as that product is on the road? You transport them through pipelines deep buried under the ground, and they only surface at the point of usage, right? The NNPCL has got a lot of gas plants, gas assets. And as we speak today, we are still flaring gas. Instead of using those gas assets to harness the gas and put it in power generation, put it in industrial uses, put it in commercial uses, put it in domestic uses. The NNPCL is sitting on a lot of upstream assets. You know, NNPCL has got oil wells of their own, and those oil wells aren't producing anything. So if government takes the step to disaggregate the NNPCL, unbundle the NNPCL, and either go the option of part ownership, as in the NLNG, or just throwing the whole thing into the private sector, then all these assets that I have mentioned now that are line west will come into play. You know, the refineries are very prominent because they deal with petrol that we all buy. But Nigerians don't take cognizance of the fact that there are many other assets that this NNPCL has been mismanaging, which I have narrated. And if those assets are back into production, our lives are going to be much better. For instance, like where I am here, sitting here in Canada, there are no gas cylinders. Nobody buys gas, cooking gas in cylinders. The gas is piped straight into your house, just like electricity is connected into your house, right? And you just, anytime you turn your stove, the thing will burn with gas that is piped into your house. So imagine the kind of gas assets that the NNPCL is sitting on. If we unbundle that, put them in the private sector operatorship, and we begin to run these humongous projects of piping gas into homes in Nigeria, you can imagine the kind of boost that will create to the economy in terms of construction jobs and also in terms of running the systems. You know, this is where the employment will come from, which currently our young people are all over the place looking for jobs. This is where you create the jobs.
Let me go back again. Let me bring you back to the rot in the NNPCL. Who are the players, the key players, or maybe even the guys that you call contractors? You know, the turnaround maintenance obviously was awarded to human beings, not computers, not ghosts. Are there any known links to political elites or cabals? Because, you know, every time we talk about the NNPCL, we talk about cabals, too many powerful people, and that's why this is not happening and that's not happening. If the National Assembly was truly serious, and this is not the first time they've said they want to, you know, probe the National Petroleum Company, if they were serious about it, shouldn't they be following the money with all of the everything that they have within their powers, if they were truly serious about this? Because I remember the day that I brought this story as a headline, my callers were very dismissive of it, that it's just another, you know, walk in the park. It's nothing. They're just trying to make it look like they're doing something. If the National Assembly or the government was really serious about this, wouldn't they be walking that route? Or is it more complicated than maybe the IC? I don't know.
So there's a larger problem here as well, because sometimes when we look at these issues at the micro level, we may be missing the larger picture. What's the larger picture? The larger picture is that Nigeria is not a nation that is being run with the rule of law. There's no rule of law in Nigeria. For you to make headway as a nation, look at all of the nations around the world. Is it the United States? Is this Canada? Is it the United Kingdom? Is it Germany? Is it France? Where someone can make the case, oh, they have been there. But then look at the younger ones. Is it Singapore? Is it Indonesia? Is it Malaysia? Is it UAE? Is it Qatar or so? You will clearly see that the difference between those nations and us is the rule of law. And what does the rule of law mean? The rule of law means, regardless of who you are, you have to obey the laws of the land. And if you don't obey the laws of the land, the law will come after you. So if we aren't doing that, it simply manifests in a case of like the NNPCL, where people can collect contract sums and they don't do the job. People collect contract sums, don't do the job, and then we're here analyzing. It's not only the NNPCL. People collect contract sums to do road construction, to build houses, to build hospitals, to build educational institutions, to lay tracks, to do airports, to do all sorts of things. And we don't see the result. And we don't see the result, yet the law doesn't come against them. And your colleagues who were being cynical about the current NNPCL probe, I think the proof is now on the National Assembly, because we've seen it in the past. We've seen this kind of noise made in the past, and yet nothing comes out of it. So it is the National Assembly who now has the onus to prove to us that this particular probe is not the usual noise making. It's on them, it's not on us, because we have been served this dessert many times ago. So we are aware of it, we know about it. So it is for them to prove us wrong, that this is not going to be a talk show, but it's going to be a real probe that is going to look into the affairs on the NNPCL.
With the new, with the removal of Mele Kyari, because at some point it was like there was a concerted effort by Nigerians and those who did not like how the dealings within the NNPC was unfolding. There were people who were saying Mele Kyari has to go. if he does go, things would change. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Now, there's a new boss who has obviously refused to come to the Senate to respond to anything. And I want to loosely just connect this to something that we also had with fighting terrorism. At some point, we said Buhari should remove all the service chiefs, change all of them, and bring new guys. It didn't really change anything. So let's look at the structure of the NNPCL. Is there anything that can be done structurally in terms of who heads the NNPCL and the different responsibilities? As somebody who's an insider, does that change anything with this new guy who's been put there? I think he's from Kwara State, if I'm not mistaken.
So first and foremost, let me clarify that I am not an insider. I've never worked for the NNPCL. I have worked for over 20 years in the oil sector. I worked majorly for international oil companies. I worked for 3 of the top 4 global international oil companies in the world, both in Nigeria and overseas. So I know a bit about the oil industry, but I don't know much about the NNPCL from the inside. I can only appraise them from the outside. That is one. Number 2, I know personally the current GMD of the NNPCL because we were in share together.
Okay.
We worked in share together, So again, I know his capacity. He's technically competent. He has also got the required people skills, which is basically what you need to combine and turn the fortunes of a behemoth like the NNPC around. And now I looked at, I haven't spoken with him since he became a GMD, however, and also looking at his 100 days in office, the press statement that was put out for his 100 days in office, I could see a man who is still trying to understand the NNPCL. I can see a man who is trying to come to terms with the enormity of the task before him. And thirdly, for me, I think he's creating unnecessary controversy by refusing to go to the National Assembly. If I have a way to advise him, I will say, go to the National Assembly because he has already sent representatives to the National Assembly. I have seen his CFO and some of his executives before that very panel at the National Assembly. And if the people are saying, no, we want to see your CEO, it's not as if they are going to arrest him if they see him. So perhaps he's going to tell them the same thing his representatives have been saying. But the National Assembly members to hear it. So why create this controversy? Why put a spotlight on yourself when you could just go to National Assembly, explain to them in details, the issues that are at hand? Number 4, he started to make, to me, the right statement as regards the refineries. Because he put out a statement that said, look, we're going to appraise the option of selling off these refineries. And for me, that's a game changer. That's what I would call a solution. Because that's what we've been calling for a long time. And it's not going to be a difficult task for him to sell the refineries. Why? Because in 2007, President Obasanjo actually sold the refineries. President Obasanjo sold the Kaduna and the Port Harcourt refineries. So the template for the sale of the refineries exists. And it's just for the Bayo Ojulari-led NNPCL to pick up that template and they rebase it. We're in the rebasing season in Nigeria.
Just hold that thought. Hold that thought for me. We're going to go for a quick 5-minute break. And when we come back, we'll talk more about selling the refineries. Stay with us. It's still Hard Fact.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We'll be right back.
Is that Alfie playing football in the rain?
It's Toby Chio.
My goodness. When did he me grow up.
That's it with kids, though.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
Hi, this is Nene from the boat safety team. You can't see us, but we're right here with you on every boat ride. To your left is the ride insurance team. We insure your ride as soon as your trip starts. To your right is the record audio team. We keep a recording of your trip for 24 hours in case you need it later. And behind you is the customer support team, ready to chat 24/7. We're the boat safety team, by your side on every ride.
Start your day and have a good time.
Kivo Creamer.
Where you need to have the break time.
Kivo Creamer.
If not tea, Papa Garita.
Kivo Creamer. Kivo Creamer.
Football is on.
Liverpool are champions.
When the streets erupt for screamers and last-minute winners, you know it's on. For the passion, the rivalries, the biggest football stars. Oh, it's on.
It's astonishing.
It's on everyone's lips, on every screen. It's on every week for the diehard fans and even the occasional fans. Football is on, and it's on for every reason. Only on Supersport. Stay connected and stay with us, starting from DSTV Yanga.
It's amazing how your child grows up before your eyes. Enable their thriving development and the care they need with the new NanKid 4 with HMOs to support your child's development, probiotics to help your child's digestion and development, and high-quality proteins to support age-appropriate growth. And all of these work together to support your child's development and growth today and tomorrow. NanKid 4. Nourish your child's potential.
I don't know, man. These days, all you hear is save, invest, save, Wait, how do you guys find this money? Is it not someone that is settled that will have money to save and invest? And even if I manage to invest or save, the interest rates are so low. And one can lose money in all these crypto, NFT, blockchain, and so on.
Introducing Fund 724. It's a simple solution to all your money goals. With as low as 1,000 Naira or that urgent 2K in your pocket, you can start saving with Fund 724 and earn solid returns on your investment. And you can withdraw your money from your account for free. Anytime you like, just dial *724# on your mobile phone and follow the prompts.
Oh, so no need to download an app or join a long queue.
Dial *724# now to get started. Fund 724 is available 24/7. Guarantee Trust Fund Managers is a subsidiary of Guarantee Trust Holding Company PLC and regulated by the Securities and Exchange Commission.
Looking for ways to save your data? It starts with your apps. Deleting unused apps helps, but there is more. Most apps have data saver modes. Activate them to control data usage. You can also go to settings to turn off auto updates. Lastly, close unused apps to save data when you ain't using your apps. These changes can make a big difference. For more information, visit your mobile operator's website or consumer.ncc.gov.ng for more helpful tips. Stay connected and enjoy smarter data usage. This message is brought to you by the Association of Telecom Operators and Nigerian Communications Commission.
See, everybody with him own wahala. Every day comes with its own version of challenges, and you have to be ready to face them, because only then can you move on to the next. That's why I never miss my breakfast. Scratch that! My peak breakfast, with the nutrients and energy I need to face each day, one challenge at a time.
Every day is a good day to power on with a peak breakfast. Have you had your peak? Reach for your peak.
In the kitchen game, there are players and then Agba Ballers. MVP, Player of the Year, 10-0, no rival. Become an Agba Baller with the new improved Maggi chicken flavor, made with a flavorful formation of onions, celery, turmeric to bring out your top game in the kitchen. Elevate the taste of your everyday dishes with delicious rich chicken flavor. Oh yeah, let's go.
New Maggi chicken flavor, my game changer.
Little body, big moves.
little brain. Big learning. Your little child is eager to do big things. Every sachet of Cerelac Junior comes with the nutrition they need: natural grains, protein, and iron to support their physical growth, learning, and development. So you can fully enjoy your little one's big moments of growth.
All right, class, settle down. Today, let's talk about how you started your day.
We got dressed and had pancakes with John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for breakfast.
My mom makes John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate for us too.
My mom calls it instant goodness. My sister and I always put it inside our pap. It's so yummy.
John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate is a chocolate drink made of rich cocoa, milk, and sugar. Available nationwide in stores. John Vance 3-in-1 chocolate. Enjoy instant goodness.
Hey, rewards don't land. When I buy airtime and data on any network,
I get up to 10% cash back.
I pay my NEPA, DSTV, or StarTimes and call
3% cash back.
Now so, smart cash back, don't get reloaded.
And they load my wallet.
Hey, it's the Smart Cash Cashback Reloaded. Top up airtime or data on any network and get up to 10% cashback. Or pay your electricity or cable TV bill and get 3% cashback sharply. Only on Smart Cash. No dull yourself. Download the Smart Cash app or dial *939# to start today.
Terms and conditions, Deja.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We're back.
We are back.
We're back on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
This is Hard Facts on Nigeria Info 99.3 FM. My name is Shego Arinze.
Welcome back. It's still Hard Facts, 99.3 Nigeria Info. We are broadcasting live from our audiovisual studios right here in Italy and Crescent, Victoria Island, Lagos. We're live on Facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM. We're live on YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. We're also on Twitter. Use the hashtag Hard Facts. That's X now. That's what it's called. You can join the conversation on WhatsApp 08095975805. Nick Agule is an energy expert and he's also a public affairs analyst. And we've been talking about the renewed probe against the NNPCL. Of course, the House of Representatives is most importantly looking into the financing of the turnaround maintenance and why it has not yielded anything. And of course, we're also looking at the issue of the cabals in the system, the corruption in the NNPCL, and if there be a way out. Now, before we went to the break, my guest was talking about the fact that the new boss of the NNPCL has considered the option of maybe selling off the NNPCL. And for him, he thinks it's a great idea. Before we went on that break, Nick, you were trying to tell us that this happened under the Obasanjo administration, but I think it was reversed by the next president that came in. And so the bigger question is, who's to say that there will be that political will yet again under this administration for that sale to go through, if it be considered to start with?
Thank you very much. So the Obasanjo administration sold off two refineries, the Kaduna refinery and the Port Harcourt refinery. And let's note that they didn't sell 100% of the refinery. They only sold 51% of the refinery. So 49% was still in the control of the government. However, the Obasanjo administration sold this refinery with only weeks left in the lifespan of the administration. And so when President Yaradua came into office, he inherited a huge street protest. The ones in Lagos were being led by our current president, Ahmed Tinubu, and the protests were that the refineries were sold to Obasanjo's cronies, and therefore they need to be reversed. And of course, you wouldn't blame President Yaradua for reversing, because it was like he was handed a poisoned chalice, and there was really nothing he could do to. In fact, he just came into office. For him to even sit down on his seat and stabilize his government, he made this protest. So he now reversed that sell, and things calmed down. But the current government can sell. Why do I say so? Because 2007 and 2025, we are not in the same position again, because Nigerians now have come to understand, and I believe Nigerians have come to realize this. If they have not, then they really need to realize this, that these NPCL refineries are actually conduits to loot our national treasury. Because from that 2007, we have had several turnaround maintenance, from the Yaradua days to the Jonathan days to the Buhari days into the Tinubu days now, and no result has come out of that. And Nigerians today now know that a refinery can actually be made to work, because they are seeing the Dangote refinery work. From 2023, when the refinery was launched till now, we have never heard that the refinery has shut down for anything, right? Yeah, it's a new refinery, but it shows the refinery can work 24/7 for several years, right? And also, the President Tinubu government have done what other governments are unable to do. For instance, the President Tinubu government have removed subsidy on petrol. They have more or less unified the foreign exchange market. So the kind of things that other administrations in the past, even if they just considered it, it will result into protest. But this government has done it and nothing has happened. So I believe that if they now go ahead and take a decision on these refineries to involve the private sector in them, and the involvement of the private sector can just be like what President Obasanjo did. Give them part of the refinery, not all of it. Just give them part ownership, so that the Nigerian people will also continue to have part ownership, or just give everything out to the private sector. I think it's going to work, and it needs to work. I would like to tell our viewers that as of today, it is only Dangote refinery that is the refinery that produces significant amount of petroleum products in Nigeria. And Dangote, being a businessman, if he sees money, he will not refuse to take it. So until Dangote begins to receive the right competition, he will not give us fair pricing. He's not a charity, right? He's a businessman. So he needs competition to give us fair pricing. And the competition can only come from the NNPCL refineries. That is the easiest and quickest way that competition can come. So Nigerians need to understand that it is so important to bring those refineries back on stream. Because if we bring 445,000 barrels of production back on stream, or refining back on stream, I envisage that competition will drive down the price of petroleum products to the 500 and 600 naira range, given the price of crude oil. Okay. So this is what Nigerians should understand is in need for them. For so long as this NNPCL refineries remain down, Dangote is not going to give us fair pricing. So that's a big thing there for us to understand.
Let me push you, because you've now mentioned Dangote, that he's not a charity, and we didn't vote him into power to be president of the anything. So obviously he's there for business. But there are those who are saying that the failure of these public refineries is as part of a deliberate sabotage of sorts to clear the path for the private sector, like that, the likes of Dangote. And I don't know, with what you've said, it means that you don't agree that there is any merit to that argument. Do you agree? Because everyone is saying he's a monopolist. And Dangote has recently also called for the president to actually ban importation of fuel because of the Nigeria First policy. So where do you stand on that?
Yeah. Okay, so two things. The first is that we don't think Dangote is involved in any sabotage, because when we talk about the sale of the refineries in 2007 by the President Obasanjo regime, Dangote was one of the buyers. It was a consortium that was made up of Dangote, that was made up of Otedola and some other parties They are the ones that came to buy the refineries. So if someone like Dangote was interested in sabotaging the refineries, why would he have gone ahead to buy them? And it is because they refused to sell to him, or the sale was actually reversed, that I believe made him to now say, okay, let me go and build mine. Right? Because he saw the opportunity. As a businessman, the good business people, they see opportunities in problems. Right? So if you saw that there were perennial fuel shortages, queues, and the racketeering in the sector, as a businessman, your job is to bring a solution to that, and in the process, make money out of it. So he must have seen the issues we're having in the downstream sector. He and others went together and said, let us take these refineries, turn them around, and run them and produce petroleum products. Nigerians resisted it. So he left the government on refineries. If he was bent on sabotaging the process, why would he set up his own refinery? Because it is his own refinery that has now reduced the importation of petroleum products, which we were doing before. So that is number one. Number two is the issue of, okay, what was the number two issue again? It escaped me.
Well, secondly, I was just saying that if we're saying that he's not part of the saboteur, is he trying to monopolize the system?
Why is he saying they should ban the importation of?
Yes.
I understand.
Is he trying to monopolize the system?
Yes. So there are two things there. Number one, Dangote is fighting his territory, right? Because he believes that as a local producer, he should be protected by the government, so that people don't bring in products into the market to compete with his. So as a businessman, it is in his own right to fight to protect his territory. But on the other hand, I disagree with him, right? I disagree with him because he's a monopoly. If he wasn't a monopoly, I will agree with him. For instance, if Dango was a farmer, if he was a farmer and he was saying, oh, ban imported food so that it encourages us to produce more food, I would agree with him. Why? Because there is no monopoly in farming in Nigeria. There are many other farmers. So if they compete with each other, they can give us fair pricing for food. But in the refining sector, Dangote is a monopoly, so he needs some measure of competition. If imported products are landing in Nigeria cheaper than Dangote, who is refining right there in Lekki in Lagos, then Dangote has some questions to answer. Because it is expected that because his products are being refined locally, they should be cheaper. So if they are not cheaper and imported products are taking the market from him, he has a big question to answer. And I will say President Tinubu should call his bluff. For so long as our refineries are down, the only way that the Dangote can face competition is through importation. So as bad as it is, as hard as it is, as it looks like we are creating jobs elsewhere, it is something we need to force Dangote's hands to give us fair pricing. So you will see that in the past. Because when the NNPCL products are reducing prices, that Dangote also reduces his price. You see, so his price reduction is based on what is happening in the market. And we really need that market to be very competitive.
Okay, well, Lagos, I have just 9 minutes on the clock. You could join the conversation, ask your questions, comment. We're talking about the probe on the NNPCL, if it will take root, if it is one of those talk but no action probes. And of course, can this administration put its foot on the ground and sell off these refineries going forward? Join the conversation 0201 277 0993 0201 465 7190. We're live on Facebook and on YouTube. Post your comment on our live stream. I would like to read and hear from you. Welcome.
Yeah, good afternoon, Miriam. How are you doing?
Good.
Jonathan is my name.
Go ahead.
I think anybody that is flowing along the line that Dangote is wrong, I would disagree with the person. It's not about Dangote. This policy Dangote is talking about, it's not about him. It's about the country. Those people importing, excuse me, sir, are they importing with Naira? This same forex that is pressurizing us, the man is saying stop it. And as far as I'm concerned, every other thing that we are producing in the country should be stopped. What will you gain? You are going to gain more employment. So let's be factual. Let me say this. It's not about the refinery. Even though if you have 1 million refineries, excuse me, sir, where would they get the crude? Are you not aware that Dangote is importing crude from America? When all these things started, were you not aware that Dangote started ranting that he cannot get crude before the president said he share for Naira for him? Did they even continue the policy?
Okay.
And this one have to run. So there's a lot of angle to it. It's not about Dangote. Please, it's about the country. Everything we can produce there should be stopped. Importing should be stopped.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Let's take another quick call and then Nick would respond. Hello.
Hello?
Yes.
Good evening to you and your guest, Marianne.
Yes.
See, without mincing words, it's obvious that the turnaround maintenance money was siphoned into the pockets of top political officers who have decided single-handedly to sabotage the Nigerian petroleum sector. So my question to your guest this evening is that if one man in the person of Dangote can build a refinery of this magnitude and is holding the government of Nigeria to ransom, he's a businessman, so nobody should even query him. Now, in business thing they do. What is the bone of contention that our own refineries cannot work if it's not a political intention to be sabotaged? So these people, they know what they are doing. If one man can single-handedly put forward this project and he saw it through conclusion, it's enough to prove to us that this is a deliberate sabotage. Nothing can happen to Dangote except there is a force combating that which he has put in place.
All right. Thank you very much for calling. Would you mind to respond, Nick, especially to the first caller who says he begs to differ?
Actually, I started to hear him when he said he disagreed with me, but the rest of what he said, I didn't hear it. Maybe his network or something.
Yeah, he was making a case that, look, is it not the same dollars that they are using to import this fuel? The same dollars that they were complaining is the reason why the fuel was high to start with. I mean, so he's saying that, look, they should ban importation. That's where he literally stands, and that he disagrees with you.
Okay, so let me give him a basic example. Okay, so like I'm from Benue, yeah? So we produce yams. So imagine a yam producer in Makodi complaining that they should ban importation of yams. Why will he be complaining? Because it is expected that he can sell his yam for 500 naira a tuber. And the person that goes to America to import yams should land his yam at 2,000 naira a tuber. There's no way Nigerians can go into the market and see 500 naira yam produced in Benue and 2,000 naira yam imported from America, and they will pay 2,000. So the yam producer should not be bothering about asking government to ban anything. He should take the market by his own pricing, because he's producing locally. His products are cheap in the market. Nobody is going to look at imported products. In fact, nobody will contemplate to go and import yam, because they know that if they import the yam and bring it, the yam will not compete with the man who is producing yam right there in Benue.
Okay.
So this is not happening in Dangote's case. Why? There must be something. Do you understand what I mean? Why is Dangote not putting products cheap in the market to make it impossible for importation? Right? So for me,
but will he now not be labeled a monopolist? That monopolist that we were trying to dodge. Now they will say, hey, he's destroying the market because he wants to monopolize it. I mean, can he really dodge it?
Okay, so for me, if Dangote has become a monopolist because his pricing is so low that he has knocked out importation, that's fine. But for him to become a monopoly just because he doesn't want importation to even compete with him, so that whatever price he gives us, we should take it. For me, that's where the issue is.
Okay, let's take a few more calls. I have just about 2 minutes on the clock. Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Good afternoon, Marianne.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I called to greet you. Why is it I don't want to pick my call now? Eh? Hello?
Hello, welcome to Hard Facts.
Hello, Mariam.
Yes.
Good evening.
You're not a woman. Why are you calling the ladies' line? Hello?
Yeah, actually, the good one. Good evening to our guest.
Yes.
Please, I have a question for him. Why is it that Owando is the one that acquired this NNPC? You have major oil companies who can run this thing. You know, I said it before. Dangote, bring your fuel down to 300 or 500. I will not go to NNPC and buy 865. Why are you saying they should not import? Other bottler refineries are working. They refuse to give them crude. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll take one more question, Nick, and then you will respond to both because we are out of time. Hello?
Yeah, this is Ahibo on the line.
Go ahead.
Yeah, when we talk about subsidy removal, that means the money they were paying for the subsidy is not available. But we have not seen the dividend of that money till now, since Tinubu say subsidy gone. Except maybe somebody will have to bring it to the barest minimum of explanation to Nigeria. Because I cannot say rather we are borrowing money more and more than the time the subsidy was there. So if the subsidy had been removed, why the borrowing of the money? What happened to the subsidy money now? Okay. Now, apart from that, I saw on the day yesterday where the custom officer, they see so many tankers and jerry can full of PMS, they call it, petrol. So where did that oil come from Nigeria going to outside Nigeria? Where did they get the PMS from?
All right, Ahigbe, thank you so much. I'm letting you go, not because you're not making sense. You're making accurate sense. So, Nick, you respond to both questions. We have just a minute 40 seconds on the clock.
Unfortunately, you might need to use 10 seconds to tell me about the questions. I didn't hear them at all. Maybe it's network.
Oh, my goodness. Ahigbe is asking about subsidy being gone. And where the money is, and the fact that customs had intercepted some fuel or PMS going out of the country, who allows for them to be stolen and taken out of the country. And I think the caller before this was speaking about that was Chris. I think he was I can't remember Chris's question. Unfortunately, it skipped my mind just quickly. But let's respond to Ahigbe. Chris might remind me.
Let's respond to the two. So the first one is that where is the subsidy money? The subsidy money is, in fact, Federal Accounts Allocation Committee. Because if you notice, in the Buhari days, up to the last days of Buhari, the FAC was 600 billion monthly. And the FAC, as we speak today, is 1.8 trillion. So FAC has gone up 3 times. So the money from the subsidy remover on petrol, subsidy remover on dollar, subsidy remover on electricity is in fact. So states and local governments are getting a lot more money now than they were getting before. So it is for us to hold our governments accountable. What are you guys doing with 1.8 trillion? Federal government, state government, local government. And they're coming to the export of PMS. If somebody comes to Nigeria and buys PMS, which is our market prices, and exports it illegally, I'm just wondering why. Because unlike before, where we have subsidy and the petrol was selling cheaper in Nigeria, it made sense that you can buy the cheaper one and export to the nearby Benin Republic and make a profit. But our petrol in Nigeria, that if you come to Dangote legitimately with a 1 million liters capacity ship, and say, give me this petrol at the price you are selling to the market, of course he will sell it to you. So I don't understand about the export.
Well, Nick, NNPC's conversation is not a one-day conversation. I'm hoping that we can keep talking about this until something is done. Nick Agule is, of course, a public affairs analyst, but he's most importantly an energy expert and has worked in the oil and gas industry for years. We want to thank you so much, Nick, for being part of the conversation today. We're hoping that you come back to us with some great insights into agriculture when you're back from Canada. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you so very much, and have a nice day, Marianne, and our viewers globally.
All right. Thank you very much. Lagos, that's the show. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, MIMIEY, or follow Nigeria Info on all of his social media platforms. Subscribe to our YouTube page. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens.